back on the road again. I found my way back to the main highway, and now I'm heading back towards Calgary. I was lost for about half an hour, and I got to view the mountains, and I still get to see them on my side there. They're absolutely gorgeous out there. From what I understand, where my sister Lori used to live, in Claresholm, where I'm going to stop, I already stopped and got myself a sub and a drink because I was getting pretty hungry, and it's now just after lunch. But the radio stations suck out here because there's none. But that's okay, because it forces me to turn the radio down and, I don't know, talk to you guys with that in the foreground. Over there. It's just, wow. It's majestic. You know, there's always been something about oceans and something about mountains for me. You know? Maybe because some of my heroes are guys like Moses. You know? Despite everything that goes on in the world, he carries on. And he brings souls to the Lord, and you know, he brought people to God. And even back then, they were sinners. You know, when you're called, you sometimes got to be absolutely obedient. Because after all that Moses did, he never got to see the promised land. It kind of makes me think, and this is where I go, that all your dirty rags are, you know, they're just dirty rags. All your good deeds, they're just dirty rags. Through Jesus, all that's washed away. God made many tries to make humanity work. And it seemed that each time there was a catastrophe. You know, it almost wiped out all the people. I don't know. Makes me think. All the genuinely bad in the world. It's not much different today than it was back then. It is what it is. Not everybody's name is written in the book of life. You know, I've been fortunate that a lot of people around me that have passed and gone have taken the Lord. Makes me think. Yeah, but you know what? When that day comes, none of this will matter. But until that day, you know what? In His service I remain. A little rough around the edges. You know? I do what I can. When I can. Always offer a handing help, or a helping hand. See, there's some parts of this road that are almost entrancing. They're just, like if you look behind me, you can probably see them better than I can out the back window. I can see a little bit of them in the mirrors. Maybe I can get you out there. I don't know whether you can see anything out that way. You can see them in the rear view, way back there. I tell you, they're like a breath of fresh air. God's majestic beauty. This isn't one of them Hogman moments where I've got really anything to preach. This is just enjoying Him. You know? I've been in communion the whole ride home with Him, you know, and it's beautiful. You know? Being connected, it doesn't make the hardships so bad anymore. It is what it is. We brought a couple of new prospects in, and I went out there and I stayed with Jinx a couple of nights. And you know what? I've been friends with Jinx, I don't know, I think 7 years or something like that, 6, 7 years on Facebook. And back in the day, we come from the same neighborhood and we know all the same people. But I mean, I knew who he was, I guess, and he probably knew who I was back then, if we could even remember each other back then. But that man's turned his life around just like I have. He's a good man, and I love him. You know? We all have our crosses to bear, don't get me wrong. Some of us get frustrated and angry just the same. We're only human in the flesh. But we're working on it. You know, I love seeing guys that love baby Jesus, man. You know, big tattooed guy and he loves the baby Jesus. I gotta love that, man. I love that. You know, I got so many club brothers and sisters, I mean, that just, wow, you know, when I see them praising and praying, and it makes my heart sing. It makes my heart sing when I run into people like Dawson Brown. You know, it's really hard to find people that understand that we're a little rough around the edges, and it's taken us time to, you know, I don't think they'll ever take it out of us. But we can be kind and loving and caring and helpful and try and dissipate arguments when we can. But you know what? We're still warriors just the same. And I believe it's our right to protect our families and our friends and our brotherhood. Absolutely. You know, there's a lot of questions people have about God, you know? And if you see any of these guys with the apocalyptic disciples on there, hey, start talking to them, man. They got lots to say about God. If you got questions, they got some answers. You know? We're all not perfect. Not by any means. You know? But there's lots of people you can talk to, because the world kind of teaches you garbage and teaches you hatred and teaches you, you know what? I don't like being in hatred. I'm not a very nice guy in hatred. I'm that old guy, that old asshole. I didn't care if he caused problems. It's none of his business. He didn't worry about it. He created a whirlwind of crap behind him. Drama and, you know, I gave that life up. I never deny who I was. That way nobody can ever use it against me. You want to know? Ask. I'll tell you the truth. You know? I don't put everything on there. I don't put everything on my minutes. You know what? I wasn't always such a nice guy. But there was some guys out there, and it was men, who taught me how to be a man of honor. You know, if I could say anything to the women out there, if you want your children to be respectful and be well-mannered and find nice men, teach them that. If your children are getting out of hand, sit them down and talk to them. Till you're blue in the face. Explain it to them. Teach them. It's your job. Don't expect the child to understand you. And you get mad at them. No, they're children. You may need to remind them 1,000,000 times. But you know what? When they're 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, you know what? They'll thank you for it. Teach your children well. They live what they learn, and they learn what they see. You know, the way I see it is most men get in trouble at least once in their lives. So after they get in trouble, what do you want them to know? Well, what you want them to know? Well, you better teach it to them before they go there, because when they fall to their knees and they ask for direction, guess what? It's there. Time to change. I love everybody. I mean, I was in the hospital and I was talking to a young man in there. I'm not going to say any names in case this video goes viral. He was a young man, and I talked to him about my life, about changing my life, making a decision. And that wasn't until 91. I made a decision that I was going to love my family no matter what. You know, because families drift apart. And you know, I was with Bev, and I made a decision, and this is coming into the 2000s. You know, I made some mistakes, and then into the 2000s, I met Bev in 99, I think I met Bev. But, we didn't start dating until 2007. March 2007. You know? And all my experiences up to that point were teaching me how to become a man of honor. I always stood for the women I was with before, and when they were ill, I looked after them. I took care of the house, and everything got taken care of, you know? You know, my first wife, I love her. I still love her. She was my first wife. I'm not in love with her, but I love her because she gave me two wonderful children, Matt and Shauna. You know? It was kind of one of them situations where I wanted to provide more for my family. Therefore, with our business, I worked more. And I also went to a lot of meetings. I was in AA and NA, and I was participating in all that. Because that's what kept me flying straight. And that's what kept me working hard at my business to build a business. And it was on the threshold of becoming self-supporting. and now all hell broke loose. So subsequently, that business I had to shut down, and I went and worked for somebody else. It was a pretty horrendous time in my life. You know, I see one of my children going through this, and it was horrendous. And if I could give any piece of advice, is go to counseling and compromise. Because at this point, nobody wants to be flexible. Everybody wants to be, this is the controlling line. All I can say is to you two, I love you dearly. And you've been together 12 years. There's 12 years of stuff. And you know what? You need to take these trials and tribulations and you need to turn them around and make them testimonies. Testimonies that husbands and wives, no matter what, will stand beside each other and work things out and compromise. You know, somebody told me a long time ago, do you love your family? And I said, yes. He said to me, what don't you like doing? I said, I hate doing dishes. And he says, so from now on, if you want to love your family and remind yourself that you love your family, you will always do dishes. You know what? I still do the dishes. All of them. I still clean the house. I got to lighten up on that because I got to go back to work because I got no money. It sucks. But I got to find some work. So if anybody out here knows that there's somebody that's hiring a Class 3 license, in the new year I'm going to go and get all my tickets updated so I can probably go back vacuum excavating. I'll give Canadian, I guess they're called excavating. Canadian excavating. I'll give them a call after the new year here, after the weekend. I got to go down, and the province of Alberta will give me all my tickets. So I'm going to apply for that, get all my tickets done. And then hopefully I'll be working again. That'll be a good thing. Put a house together. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Anyways, kids, all I can say is love each other, be blessed. Well, I'm still driving beside the mountains. That's why I'm so kind of emotional and connected. So anyways, much love and respect, peeps.